Foreigners in Bratislava, a podcast for foreigners by foreigners in Bratislava. I'm Oscar.
Hi everyone, I'm Shane.
Okay, so this week's topic is the foreign police.
Oh, the foreign police.
The foreign police.
Okay. I'm going next week.
Yeah.
We should do a two-parter.
We'll do a two-parter, yes.
Before and after.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You made a video about it and you posted it on the Foreigners in Bratislava group.
Yeah.
Do you want to go? Because I don't know what the foreign police is.
It's the Susdenice Policja, which directly translates as alien police, and that's what's written on the side of the thing.
Yes, that's so much more interesting.
The Men in Black. It's the Men in Black. You're going to go in. Will Smith is going to neuralize you with the little magic pen.
I wonder if I went in dressed as an alien, would they find that funny? I doubt it.
Probably not. No, I don't think.
No, that wouldn't.
No, not a hotbed for humour, that place.
My UFO is parked outside. No, maybe.
Do we have a license for this?
Don't do that.
No, they don't have that. They don't have that accent. It's very hard to do a Slovak accent because there's no like one set Slovak. Anyway.
No. My one comes out like Dracula.
When you are, even if you're staying here for more than like a month, technically, legally, what you're supposed to do, even as a citizen of the EU, is you have to go and notify the foreign police of your stay. And if you want to get a residency permit, if you want to get, like, if you're living here for an extended period of time, you want to open a bank account, you want to get internet, you want to get any of this stuff, you need a residency card, like a temporary residency card, which lasts for 2 years, and then after that, after 5 years, it's another. You have to after 2 years, after 2 temporary residency cards, you qualify for the 10-year permanent residency card, which is what I have, and you just have to, just jump through the hoops. Like, you have to go there, you have to get like a thing from your, you have to get like a paper from your landlord saying you have permission to live in the apartment so that they can issue that as your permanent address in Slovakia and all this kind of stuff. It's just a bureaucratic nightmare. You have to go, like, usually you have to go with like a translator and stuff. And what has been happening for the last, year is that it's basically impossible to get an appointment there.
Well, yeah, I'm seeing that people are like camping outside the police station.
Yeah.
Well, I don't get that. Why?
Because
I don't get camping.
Well, I mean, it used to be like before, like even when I first moved here, like especially if it was someone from like outside of Europe, outside the EU, like what they call a third country national, what some
super
people
alien.
Super alien, or what some people misconstrue as third world national. That's what they call themselves by accident sometimes. But yeah, so third country means anyone outside the EU.
Yeah.
It's like the third person, first person, third person. And they typically had a longer process and they'd had like less spaces to deal with them. And that's when the Foreign Police Office in Bratislava was in Petržalka, like way back when. And yeah, I knew people like from Iran, from other places, they would have to go there at like 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. And the situation then was there would be gangs controlling the list. They would have a list of who goes in first. And that was controlled by gangs of like, I don't know. I don't remember what nationality. Albanians, maybe we'll say. I don't know. It was maybe Slovaks as well. I don't know. It was a lot of different gangs, basically.
But that had nothing to do with the foreign police. The foreign police are in the office, just waiting to open the doors, and all of this cartel-esque stuff is happening outside. Yeah.
And to get rid of that, they bought in this online reservation system. So that means if you wanted to go, you have to book your slot online, usually like at least 2 weeks in advance. It could be like or usually longer. Like it could be like maybe like a month, 2 months. What has been happening has been that all of the appointments were getting snapped up straight away as they were released, either from apps, like people had programmed like AI things to like scrape all the appointments somehow. Some people said that there was rumors that there was a person inside the thing selling appointments, and some people are saying that like there's just people who are literally just there 24/7 just clicking on the thing to get the appointments.
The Foreigners in Bratislava Facebook group is littered with posts of people being like, my residency card's going to expire, I've tried for 2 months to get an appointment, like nothing is working.
And then these people who scrape the appointments, they go to those people, hey, for however much money you can have an appointment, I can sell you my appointment, So there's people selling. Now it's evolved from gangs controlling the door to like gangs controlling, like selling appointments, basically.
But surely, if you make an appointment, you put in your date of birth and your name, so you wouldn't have.
That's how it should be. I don't know how it changes.
That's so stupid. Yeah. You can fix that problem so simply. You just put someone's name, date of birth, and you can't sell it. Yeah. It's impossible to sell it.
Yeah. So someone told me that they previously wrote down, they made a fake email saying that they had the appointment confirmed, and they just went and showed that fake email, and they got in. So I don't know how often or how much they're actually checking. So anyway, because of this massive backlog, what they've done is the last few weeks they've started doing open days. So like they'll have an open day. So they say anyone for visa confirmation or for the other thing, just come down on this day, and we're going to be open from 7:40 until 11:40. Okay, so 4 hours of work, and we'll see everyone we can. And I went down there with a video guy called Andres Cruz from Costa Rica, who I met in Foreigners in Bratislava. We drove down there at like 7:30.
Where is it?
It's in Stara Vynorska, or Vinori. It's outside. Do you know the Love Stream Festival?
No.
50 Cent played there last year, and Macklemore.
I do love 50 Cent.
It is a big empty field, a big empty former airfield.
Oh, cool.
And behind that is the Foreign Police. So it's like literally, like.
It looks like in the middle of nowhere. It is like haunted mansion.
It's in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, it's like it's really hard. It's like there is like one bus that goes there. It takes like maybe like an hour and a half on the bus, like because with the different waiting and different transfers and stuff.
I'm dreading it. I'm going to be honest. I'm going with the translator.
Oh yeah, you'll be fine. No, but you're in good hands. But I mean, it's not bad. It's just you go there and you just have to just sign your name, get your fingerprints scanned, and.
I do feel like, not to get super serious, but I do feel like I never heard of any of these. I understand this system was never perfect. It was never like no one ever came out for going woohoo. It's like Ryanair.
Yeah.
Like, but it seems like since this new government have come in, who are quite anti-foreigner, quite anti-Muslim, quite anti-EU, that this all seems to have got an awful lot worse. Is that just my news feed? Or is that reasonably accurate to say since this new... It's almost like they don't give a crap?
Well, so the guy, yes and no, I'd say. I mean, I think it was bad anyway, but I don't think they're dedicating the same amount of power to doing it. I know that there's a bunch of the... Well, there's there's even a difference between like the bad, quote unquote bad migrants that they don't want and the quote unquote good migrants that they do want. Like people who work in even like high powered business executives can't get an appointment,
Yeah.
So I mean, it's really affecting everything, and it's like just jamming up the whole thing. And I know that people are complaining to the president, who's part of the same political party as the Minister of the Interior, who's in charge of all this stuff. I mean, and I think they know. I was even speaking to a prominent politician from the ruling party, and he was saying this. Well, it is a philosophical. One of the philosophical reasons is what he said. A philosophical reason for why the system is so bad. But there is like still a practical,
It seems like it could be fixed remarkably simply.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't seem like it's a problem that selling appointments, you can get around that really simply. But I've noticed it's not so much people saying that there aren't any appointments, it's that the system crashes constantly.
Yeah.
And like you can put some proper IT in there. That's not rocket science.
I mean, the website doesn't look very good, and I think they probably made it for like they put out a tender and probably got like the cheapest possible thing to make it. It doesn't look like, I noticed it doesn't seem...
Temu website.
Yeah, it's a Temu website. But yeah, I mean, there is definitely... I think that's why there's kind of a hunger to fix it, I would say.
But also, the Foreign Police, you have to bring a translator, right? Because
well, if you don't speak Slovak, yeah.
Yeah, in my mind, Foreign Police would kind of imply at least there'd be a little bit of English. But no.
Well, when I was there was a police officer providing... He was answering questions in English from people.
Oh, fair play.
But like, if you go to the desk, you're kind of on your own. I managed to go there one time without a translator. It was like something very simple. I think it was just like getting a replacement card or something, or like was pretty straightforward. I was saying "Potrzebuję nowej karty," like just using baby Slovak basically. And I was like,
"Me want new card now."
Yeah. The reason they don't do it in English, and the reason is because number one, we're in Slovakia, and it's the state languages. This thing. But like since their job is that they have to do it in English, or that they have to do it in Slovak, and they have to provide the correct information. If they're not like basically a C2 English speaker, if they make some sort of mistake or some sort of whatever, or
things can go.
they transmit the wrong information to you, then that comes back on them basically. And the safest way for them to do their job is in their language, which, fair enough. But it's
Isn't there also something? This might be a completely different off topic, but isn't there something that third countries like outside the European Union, like British and American people, that they are going to have an A2 level of Slovak in order to renew? I mean,
that's for I think permanent residency.
Yeah,
I think. And you have to pass some sort of language competency, which doesn't really make sense because whatever. I mean, I think there, from what I understand now, there's a big problem with getting English teachers into the country because, we've got Slovakia, Ireland and Malta are the only, English language countries in the native English-speaking countries in the EU currently, so therefore they have the easiest path to get in. But even for, if you're trying to come in from the outside the EU, you need to have, $9,000 in your bank account or something, or you need to show you have, some crazy amount of money that you can support yourself.
But even some of the things I remember, so just for full transparency, everyone, I lived here for a couple of years and then I moved to Vienna and I gave up when I went back to Ireland. Okay. I sent back my ID and everything. So I went through this process in 2021, but it seems like this process is quite different now. But they're asking this time for, for example, they were like, we need a police check, we need a police certificate from Ireland. And I was like, but I haven't been in Ireland, I've been with you for the last 3 years. And you have a police check from Slovakia. And they're like, no, we need it from Ireland. So the Irish police are like, well, we haven't been here, but okay, you've no, and then so I sent them that, I'm like, okay. And then we need a hard copy of that. I'm like, that's are you joking? You want me to courier that from Ireland? That just seems a little silly. That
they definitely don't want to make the process easy.
No.
And you can only basically live in this country if you're really dedicated to it. It's
like converting to Judaism. They just don't want people messing around. Don't they deny you 3 times
yes.
or something? That's what it is. Slovakia is a synagogue.
Yeah. Living in Slovakia is the equivalent of getting circumcised.
Wow.
No, it's not. No. Actually, no. I feel like I've been the opposite of circumcised. I feel like I've too much force. Too much force.
Where are we going?
I don't know. Okay, no. I'm trying to riff here.
Just for anyone listening, at least just so you know, we don't have booze when we're recording this.
No, we're sober. Okay, so I'm gonna read. I read this to you yesterday. I posted that video that I made interviewing people in the foreign police. I posted that on Reddit. Okay, and most of the comments are pretty kind of supportive and normal, like, oh my God, this is a disgrace. How can we do this in Slovakia? This is in my country. Now, I got one comment from NerdBirdX, NERDBERDX. This genuinely, and this is like a tree, it's like an A4 page, basically, he wrote to me. This genuinely sucks dicks for hardworking people who need to get some documents, but it's also one of the reasons why Slovakia and other nearby countries aren't as culturally, quote-unquote, culturally enriched as others, which is like a right-wing kind of scare point, like, cultural enrichment is like when you get loads of third world, in their mind, third world individuals moving into their country.
Multicultural.
Yes.
But in a negative sense.
Yes.
They should use a different term than culturally enriched, because that sounds like a good thing.
Yeah, I know, right? So even after the recent election results, fact remains Bratislava is a pretty great place to live right now, and anyone visiting from any non-V4 capital city, it's immediately apparent why as soon as they take a look around.
So because there's no foreigners.
The implication is because there's no black or brown people, even though they are here. There are black and brown people here, so I don't know I don't know. I'm not sure how true that statement is. I think he's kind of wish casting that Bratislava. So let's say Ukrainians, any police/government shenanigans in Slovakia, Poland, Czech Republic aren't anything new. In fact, the situation they experience in these countries is an improvement over what they're used to at home, which I doubt that. I've heard some different things that will contradict that. The language is easy to learn for them and they fit right in. Croatians, Bulgarians, Serbians, etc. all are in a similar boat. I've heard so much racism against Ukrainian people here, so I don't know where they're getting that from. For the remaining immigrants, the situation is bad, but that's likely on purpose, that you won't see any citizens complaining about that. It's just a lesser evil. I guess an ideal world would be where the middle between left and right in these countries would have a well-thought-out system to let in just the right people who who will fit in, regardless of skin color or native tongue. But as you need these corrupt, incompetent cops and other government officials and the mentally R-worded majority of voters currently in Slovakia and Hungary, but Czech Republic and Hungary are not far behind, to work together to make sure the country is not too nice to foreigners. Otherwise, the left would have ruined those countries. The left. The left would have ruined those countries. I'm saying this as someone who's pro-LGBT, never voted for the right. I'm secretly glad that some of these dipshits keep voting right, because without them, the left would have ruined the V4 countries a long time ago.
What's the V4 countries?
V4, Visegrad 4. So it's like there's this sort of group within the EU called the Visegrad group. So it's Slovakia, Poland, Czech Republic, and Hungary. So like the Central Europe.
The best countries.
Yes.
The countries with the most... The countries with the best economies and the least amount of political corruption countries.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Countries with the most educated people.
They're very good.
Sorry, I'm being really snobby now. I'm being just like him. Okay, there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, I've come to realise, and others should as well, that this really shitty system roots out most of the freeloaders and religious fanatics who think if they breed enough, they'll get benefits and eventually also government seats and a majority.
Well, this is what I find. This is fascinating. Like, I think we thought like 15 years ago the internet would bring us closer together when it's brought us apart. What's on his TikTok that's not? My TikTok is just it's Beyonce and the Super Bowl. What is on this man's TikTok?
I don't know, man.
Thank God the foreigners haven't come in to destroy. Is Vienna destroyed?
But I think Vienna's fine. But I think a lot of people have this mindset.
Yeah, probably. But it's weird. It's based on
fear of different people, fear of outsiders, and I think they're sort of paralyzed by this fear because if we make it literally they don't want to make it too nice. If we make it too nice, then people will actually want to move here.
Also, but I'm not being funny. You go to Kitsy, all the cars have Slovak registrations.
Yeah.
How many people do we know that live in Hungary?
Yeah.
Because the petrol is cheaper.
Yeah.
And the language is, let's face it, the language is funnier.
Yeah.
It sounds like Klingon. I love it. I can't do it at all. It just sounds really funny. But this idea of we only want the good people in here. We don't want the bad people. It's there are Slovak people in prison in other countries. This is just humanity.
Yeah.
I totally get. Look, the population of India is 1.4 billion. You can't have everyone in the country tomorrow. The system will collapse.
Yeah.
I'm with you there.
Yeah.
But this sort of elitism over, good people and bad people and the best people. It's sorry, you're not. Some of your baddies leave as well.
Yeah. Look, I mean, it's humanity. It's like life. It's you have to take the good and the bad. You have to take the yin and yang and all this kind of stuff. It's
I've made this city fabulous, frankly, even with my dreadful Slovak.
Yeah. So I mean, but I'm just gonna read the last half of what this guy said because
there's more.
There's 3 more paragraphs.
This man is unemployed.
Yeah.
this. Tell me you're unemployed without telling me you're unemployed.
Yeah. No, thank you. We don't need yet another kebab shop in any of these V4 countries.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So there we go. And we don't want our students to be so brainwashed they start marching for Hamas. Seeing as it looks like Turkey will never get into the EU, I suspect that most Europeans at least secretly agree with this notion, although it's too late for most countries. So you see, and this is my favourite part. So you see, there's a little bit of a silver lining in everything. Funny thing is, Oscar, the guy in the video, is from Ireland. And look where having a great, competent foreign police got them. Otherwise, why else would Oscar have moved to Slovakia?
I'm sorry. So there's so much to unpack there. He's making the assumption that you have moved to Slovakia because our police, there's too much immigration in Ireland.
Yeah, there's either too many black people or brown people in Ireland, or there's not enough, or there's less here, which is why I moved here. Which is not why I moved here, but. And if you're an immigrant and don't agree with this, please, by all means, move along and enjoy your stay in Vienna, Paris, Brussels, Berlin, Dublin, or any other shithole city that's quickly becoming a third world country. I have been in...
Wow.
I haven't been to Brussels, but I've been to all those other cities, and they're fucking grand. They're fine. I would happily
Vienna and Dublin.
I would happily live in. I wouldn't live in Dublin because
I wouldn't live in Dublin.
Not because of foreigners, though. Because of people from Dublin. Because of actual Irish people who live there who are from Dublin, and they have.
I love Dubliners.
I know they don't. I'm too much of a culture.
You hate them. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm too culture.
Dublin's just too expensive. Sorry, how could you? There's a cultural snobbiness. How could anyone in Bratislava look at Vienna and go, "Oh, that's an awful place to live"? It's consistently ranked as the greatest city in the world to live in terms of political corruption. Yeah. It's the lowest in the world. Drinking water, crime rate, health, air quality. It's way better than Bratislava because you've got bloody Slovnaft there.
Yeah.
Crime is lower, the standard of education is higher, the salary is higher, the cost of living it's completely rent controlled.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's just complete nonsense.
I mean, no, it's racism. He's just being racist because he's just justifying his racism towards trying to find some better ways to it. And so many people have this opinion. like the amount of people I've been talking to is like, oh well, yeah, of course that place is dangerous because there's immigrants, because there's like, you know, refugees, because of this. And like really, they're fine. Like I mean, like Berlin. I was walking around Neukölln in Berlin, and it's
I love Neukölln.
It's like, okay, like there's loads of like Muslim people here, and they're like they're just there speaking in German to each other, you know, and a bit of Arabic as well, I guess. But like it's like all just like everyone's fairly chill.
Oh, can I say something that's quite funny?
Yeah.
We have a friend in common who's from Iran, and at the train station in Slovakia, I don't speak Slovak very well, but I did understand this man that he was saying, he was asking our Iranian friend, why do you speak Slovak? And he's like, well, because I grew up here, like, even though he's ethnically Iranian. And the guy was like, Assalamu alaikum, and then said in perfect Slovak, I speak Islam. And the whole way home, I was like, you don't speak Islam. You're such a bad Iranian for not speaking Islam. Like, it was like, I love it. Yeah, hovoriš po Islam? I think
po Islamski? Hovorim po Islamski.
But I heard it and I was like,
I speak Islamic.
I know, that's funny.
Yeah. You from one of the Muslimic countries?
Do you speak African? I'm a European. Speak European.
I'll speak European. We speak European.
Why is it weird that we both default to like Alan Henderson's accent?
I mean, that is the language of ignorance. Well, I don't speak Muslim.
Oh no, sometimes I'll go British.
I'm not a P word.
Whenever I'm dumb, I'll just go English.
Yeah, mate. Fuck's sake. Fucking hell. There's too many bloody Slovakians moving. Oh, I'm going to Australia. Too many bloody Slovakians moving in here.
Slovakian.
Too many Slovakians. And yeah, the thing is, like, you know, in Ireland, there's 18,000 Slovaks or something like that. There's 300 Irish people here in Slovakia. We're very rare. But like, they face racism in Ireland, you know, like they go abroad, they face racism, they get called Polish, they get called like the Roma Slovaks get called Romanians, you know, and like no one really understands, you know. So I mean, look, it's not just this guy's attitude. That's not just a Slovak problem by any means. It's, you know, it's a human problem. It's a problem of the human race that we're, you know, not really able to kind of look past any of this stuff from just all being like very fucking tribal and nativist and, you know,
Trump era part 2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Speaking of part 2, we'll have a part 2 to this.
We will have a part 2 to this.
After I come back from the farm place, I'm going to tell you guys all about it.
Yes, he's going to camp out all night.
I hope one of the policemen is hot. And I hope that we have a moment.
They all have guns.
I know, well, that's 50% of the job done. Really.
I want them to hold a gun to my head.
I want them to beat the crap out of me with the gun. No, sorry, that's weird. God, that escalated. I see a romance story where they're like, oh, I was thinking about going to Ireland. And I'm like, oh, but you can. And then we both become sheep herders on the west of Ireland, but we met at the foreign police in Vinery. It's a whole story. I have it planned.
It could be nice, yes.
I have a soundtrack. It's Beyonce. It's pretty much Cowboy Carter. That's it.
There you go, crazy enough.
What a weird way to end it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you guys. Talk to you next time.
Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day and tune in next week to find out how the hell I got on.
Yeehaw.